case you hadn't heard, Mario Odyssey sees the planet's greatest plumber out to thwart Bowser's schemes, but this time with the use of a magic hat called Cappy, who lets Mario possess creatures and inanimate objects, and oh my god, what is this sentence? But if the body-snatching premise of Mario's next game sounds crazy on paper, it's nothing compared to how downright bizarre it can be in practice. From amphibians to haunches of flesh, here are the things we've taken control of so far that really put the odd in Mario Odyssey. Once Mario was helpless in the water, with no way of fighting back against underwater nasties like the Cheep, but oh, our slippery fish friends, how the tables have turned. The fact that Cheep lives below the waves offers it no protection from Cappy, who transforms Mario into a Cheep with the press of a button. As Cheep, Mario can first and foremost motor around underwater at greatly improved speeds. But that's not all. Once captured, this salty foe can also leap impressively out of the water to move short distances on land and spin its body round to attack. Those other Cheeps will never see you coming. If you thought Mario could only assume command of things that had internal organs and nervous systems, then you were about as wrong as can be, friend, because check out Mario taking control of this lava bubble. When Mario throws his magic hat at this molten glob, it grows a little lava nose alongside the traditional hat and tash. Hitching a ride aboard this magma menace doesn't grant you many exotic powers, but does let you traverse areas that would otherwise be too hot for Mario to handle. Lava bubbles might spend much of their time staring eagerly at the land, but it turns out they don't do well outside of their molten environment. Whoops. The different creatures and objects Mario can capture grant him different abilities, but none we've seen so far can beat the humble Squid for sheer explosive power. Possessing this wriggling, grumpy-looking foe lets Mario use its water-propelling powers to boost himself rapidly across the ocean's surface. But the fun doesn't end there, as another button press fires Squid Mario upwards at an incredible pace, in a move that puts us in mind of Flood, the water cannon from Mario Sunshine, except, you know, with more tentacles. The Squid is extremely satisfying to pilot, but the fun's over when that bubble of water that surrounds your slimy surface is depleted. Until you dip into a body of water to refuel, that is. Watch you don't run out over the land though, as the sight of the poor Squid flopping uselessly about on terra firma is so pitiful you might start to feel bad about this whole taking control deal. Perhaps Mario's most iconic enemy comes fully under his command in Mario Odyssey, as you deploy Cappy to get behind the wheel of befanged fungi, the Goomba. At first, having assumed control, you might think there's not a whole lot Goombas can do, possessing only a meagre jump and no attack to speak of, which frankly makes you appreciate how brave they've been taking on Mario all these years. Goombas do have a trick up their sleeve though. Get up high enough and you can take control of more than one at once, in a wobbling totem pole of Mushroom whose synchronised blinking suggests that Cappy's control-stealing abilities have transitive properties. Wait, does this mean that we're slightly in control of the Earth as well? Where does this end? The Goomba pole is a super cute way of getting around, or if you're playing a moodier Mario, of disposing of lots of them in one fell swoop. Sorry fellas. Mario can already jump about 5 times higher than any human, but apparently that's not enough for our mustachioed hero, who, with a flick of his posh new hat, is able to take control of this high-leaping frog, much to the surprise of the poor creature itself. Having settled yourself in the brain of this minute amphibian, you'll be able to spring gracefully into the air at heights that would make even a seasoned platforming professional dizzy. Jumping out of the water is no obstacle either, not when there's a quick coin to be made from bouncing on the heads of your fellow frogs. Sorry friends, Mario's gotta eat. As a frog, you can hold the Y button to dash, or get even more altitude by shaking the controller, leaping to heights that non-frog Mario could only dream of, at least until we figure out how to wrestle the hat onto a kangaroo. Man, those things are strong. Clambering inside your enemy's mind might sound psychologically risky, but in fact it can be a useful emotional tool, at least when it comes to working out the childhood stresses caused by the nefarious Hammer Bros, who in this food-themed stage have swapped their hammers for cookware. This turtle nasty might have once been the bane of our 2D gaming lives, but guess what, Hammer Bros? Now we're the one flinging metal implements around. The options once you're in control are pretty straightforward. Jump, throw saucepans, or throw saucepans faster. Luckily, throwing saucepans feels really, really good, it turns out. Is this a breakthrough? This feels like a breakthrough. Oh, and if you thought the hot-headed Fire Bros were immune to Mario's powers, well, do we have an endless river of fireballs for you. What's grosser than finding a hair in your food? How about a whole moustache? When Mario comes across this encrusted lump, it's not immediately clear what he's assuming control of, but once you indulge in perhaps the most unsettling button prompt in gaming history, it's clear that you've taken control of a large haunch of meat. So those were some of the craziest things we've assumed control of so far in Mario Odyssey. If you enjoyed this video, then why not like and subscribe for much more. And now, if you'll excuse us, we have a lot of dogs in hats to photograph. Because Mario Odyssey?